as a longtime fan to be sitting here with Aaron Gray.
Here with Larry Hama.
We're talking with Kevin J. Anderson, best-selling author.
Mr. Neil Adams.
I am here with David Britt.
Axel Alonso, editor.
Shadow Stevens. And Devil's Comic-Con with John Delancey.
Tom King.
Kevin Conroy.
Free comic book day.
Denise Crosby.
PopCon Pop Expo.
Here on location at Star Wars
We're
Celebration.
Sci-Fi Expo talking for our second time with Gil Gerard.
Wichita, Kansas at Time Eddy.
Producer David Gerald.
I've got Eric Flint.
Are here at Smallville Comic-Con.
Wizard World St. Louis.
VillageCon in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Michael Lombardi.
We were talking with Alan Dean.
Quincy Allen.
Suzanne Landon.
Of Starlog Magazine, Mr. Kerry Oakwood.
Chris Sami.
Len Lee. Dave Schwartz. Mano Interrami. Jason Aaron.
This is Sci-Fi for Me, your portal to the science fiction multiverse.
Okay, this is Indie Comics Relay. We're coming at you live here at a Cracker Barrel in Massachusetts. Amy was obsessed. She was telling us how she had this obsession about Progresso, the soup company, made hard candy, soup drops. So she actually went to eBay to buy some soup drops. And it looks like there's 3 flavors. There's beef pot roast, chicken noodle, and tomato basil. So I'm gonna do a taste test on one of these right now. Oh my God. If you look here, none of that looks appetizing at all. I'm assuming this is a tomato basil, or is it a beef?
That's tomato basil.
That's a tomato basil. As an Italian American, I'm gonna do the tomato basil and we'll see how it tastes.
I can't believe you bought these.
All right, sniff test. Smells like hard candy. You can't tell any difference.
That's
All right,
tomato
Bob,
basil.
This is tomato basil.
Okay.
Bruh.
It gets worse as you try it. Like at first it's like, oh, this isn't bad. Maybe it's like a little. Okay. It gets worse as you try it. At first it's like, oh, this is like a light little sweet tomatoey kind of candy thing. Like, okay, maybe I could see this as some like type of exotic candy from another foreign land. No. This is an offense on your senses. Progresso offended me as an Italian American, that's for sure. And you really need to rethink the whole putting a soup in a candy vibe. Like, that's not a good thing. This was not a good thing. None of this went well.
I love it.
So I tried the chicken noodle. This is an amendment. Tried the chicken noodle. Still offensive. Little bit more palatable, but only slightly. The only reason why it's more palatable is because maybe in some realm, this could be considered chicken waffles. So there's some type of flavor there where that's like passable. But the other thing I forgot to mention is that there's a warming sensation feature of these things, and this is not, I'm not warmed or sensationed at all.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots and promoter for the Plastic City Comic-Con. With me, as always, Johnny C., creator of Sartana, Surrounded by Death and the Pond. For who, Johnny?
My good cousin Roger Morocco, who's probably out there watching.
Absolutely. And our third co-host, the Time Lord of Tangents himself, Harry G. What's going on,
Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's
Not
happening?
So, Johnny, if you were desperate for
espresso
food,
taste test.
yeah,
if you were dying somewhere, and you know, would you eat that as a last resort, or would just
I would have to if I was dying. I mean, I would value my life over
Right.
shitty soup drops, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would have to get to an extreme for me to want to eat them. So I mean,
Yeah.
I would probably eat
Okay,
bark
all right.
off of a tree again before I would try those soup drops.
I refuse to try them. They're still upstairs in our cabinet. I can't do it, Johnny. I can't. Like I just
The
save 'em for next
CIA
Halloween,
should be
Keith.
using it for torture methods to get the truth out of people.
yeah, right. Right. No. What Harry? What did you say? I'm sorry.
Save them for Halloween next year. It's like put them in a
Oh my
basket.
god,
put
that's
the kids.
perfect.
Oh,
Dude,
dude,
that's
that's put it in a
perfect.
pick and mix. They think it's like a candy, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, bam, beef stroganoff.
Oh my
But then
god.
they might egg your
Amy.
house. They might egg your house though.
They
after.
might,
I'm not
they
sure.
might,
Yeah,
but they won't
they
know
might,
until well
yeah.
after. It's just in a big bag of mixed up candy.
Yeah.
They won't know. They won't know who did this.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Stick
Oh
some
my God.
Werther's original in there too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You get this nice
That's
caramelly,
hilarious.
like wonderful taste, and the next thing you know, wham!
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So before we bring in the first guest tonight, what's been going on with you guys this past couple of weeks? Anything major or
Harry,
Nothing really. Just been. I was talking Keith's ear off after before the show. I was watching an old show. I Shouldn't Be Alive. Have you ever watched that show?
I've
Don't
never
think I have.
seen it.
It's like it's like early 2000s. It came out. It's basically a real. Oh, bless you. Real stories of people surviving, like near death situations, like buried by an avalanche or being in a raft, you know, and being sucked out to sea, you know, and then being attacked by sharks, and somehow you survive. You but survive in quotes because they have the survivors tell their story on the show, and they always film them from the chest up. And then at the end, when they get rescued or whatever, you know they survived. You know, you're like, oh, well, at least the show's called I Shouldn't Be Alive. You know, and then at the end of the show, the camera pans back and you see them like with half, no arm, like half a leg, it's like oh my god, they survived, but like barely. You know, like some of them.
Oh, gotcha.
But some of the stories are pretty, like it's a good story. It's a good show to watch to know what not to do and what to do to live if you're ever caught in an avalanche, or
Gotcha.
shark attack or whatever.
because
I've never
if you
seen
think
it.
about
I've heard of it. I've never seen it. It's like one of those things.
It's
Like
on-
we don't have
it's
cable anymore,
lot of-
so I don't really.
Well, it's on Pluto. If and a
Oh,
lot
is
of
it on
the
Pluto?
episodes are on
Okay.
YouTube. And YouTube, a lot of the full episodes are on YouTube too. If you want to catch one, it's
I
pretty-
tried watching some stuff on Pluto. It's like the quality is so poor though. It's like we're talking like 480p on some of that stuff, you know? Like,
it's rough.
it's rough. And I'm like
Yeah,
such
yeah,
a
rough.
picture, like I'm a snob like about picture quality and stuff. So yeah, I have a tough time with Pluto. But Tubi
Well, that's
is
good
pretty,
because-
pretty good quality. Tubi
Yeah,
just
Tubi.
dropped a ton of like old cartoons. Like if you're ever looking to watch, some real deep cut kind of stuff. Like they dropped the Tales from the
Fendar's
Crypt
on there.
cartoon. Like remember
Oh,
that?
wow.
Do you remember the Tales from the Crypt
Yeah,
cartoon?
that's a deep cut.
Yeah, they even have all the early seasons of the Pink Panther, which is like an old school one, Tons of stuff though. If you're looking for Johnny Quest, anything like all Hanna-Barbera's stuff. And
Do they have the like 90s Johnny Quest cartoon? Because that one was actually my favorite.
they didn't have that one, but
You
they
know what
have
I'm talking about,
yeah,
though, right?
Yeah, they didn't see much of that one. I would love to see that now.
That one almost got buried because it's so violent.
Yeah,
there
well,
is
you just take
guns. There are
the
people
original, right?
dying. Like it's brutal. I loved that 90s one. They didn't pull any punches or hold back at all.
60s one was the same way. Like they would just casually kill people, but it was it didn't show it. It was all off camera and implied. But
right.
Did you remember if the
What about-
90s one, did they have Dr. Zinn in it? Like that was the big villain in the 60s.
I believe so. I don't remember explicitly. I just remember
And
watching
Jade.
it and just being like watching it later on in life, going, "Wow!" Like I'm surprised that this was a kid show.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I mean?
must. Zen was such a major part of the original series. So wasn't Jade, who's Rafe Spannon's like kind of off and on girlfriend, but she was also a spy.
That's
And so
right.
they had
That's
like
right.
that kind of dynamic, and
That's right. That's
that was
right.
good
What
stuff,
about
man.
what about that genie cartoon that Shazam? Is that on there? The
Oh
thing
yeah,
with that guy?
Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah, probably. It's
Is
probably
is
on
that
there.
Oh, I've been
It
trying to
might
find
be. It
shows
might.
on that.
You'd have to look. They did have some of the super adventure stuff like Space Ghost and
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. It's an
haven't seen
entire
any.
list though. It's like tons of stuff.
Ray
Yeah.
Guns in the chat watching Speed Racer on Tubi every night. That's
Nice.
awesome. I used to watch Speed
Ooh,
Racer every
nice.
morning, super early. I'd wake up and do
Yep.
Gigantor and Speed Racer back to back.
So good. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and New
I think
England
I
kids
think
had
I'm
the
more-
Force 5 cartoon.
Yeah, that's right.
What's that, Harry?
I think I'm more of a Turbo Teen kind of a guy. I'm not sure.
Turbo Team was
I'm sure.
great.
Turbo Teen
Remember that?
is nightmare fuel. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't meant to be scary,
Body
but
horror.
ultimately it was scary. Meanwhile, there was an actual horror cartoon called Inhumanoids,
Yeah.
which is like cartoons by way of like H.P. Lovecraft.
yeah.
And that was like super
Mhm.
terrifying themes. And it was like completely not as scary as Turbo Teen turning into a car, as his
Yeah.
mouth would elongate and his eyes would get
His
all
mouth, right?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
it was ultimate like
Sketchy.
body horror. It was like
It was body horror. It was.
Remember what was it John Celestri who came on our show years ago, the animator?
That's
He
right.
worked on Turbo Teen.
Oh,
And
did
he
he?
Oh,
said-
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he was said
Yeah.
that all the animators in the studio, their big joke was whenever he turned into the car, like what was the gear shift? Was that his like,
Oh,
Oh,
right.
Yikes.
That's right.
Yikes.
you know,
Um,
even thought about that,
That's too funny.
It's so funny. One last thing I wanted to, then we'll bring in the first guest tonight. Some cool speaking of old school cartoons, some cool comic stuff coming up that's like retro stuff like that. Like we got a poster in this week, promo poster for Mask. It's finally coming in comic form in June. So it's going to be part of the whole Energon universe thing. So that's coming.
Not
And
the
then
Share
also-
movie, right?
What's that?
Not the Share movie.
Not
No,
the
not
Cher-
Eric
No,
Stoltz.
not
in
the Cher movie.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
They made a
Make sure.
superhero out of Eric Stoltz and his deformed face.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
god.
Right.
My horror friend, speaking of that movie, my horror friends, they wanted to like make a sequel to that. They wanted to call it like Mask 2, The Revenge of Rocky Dennis, and turn it into like a slasher movie. How good would that
great?
be?
That would be great. It
That'd be
turns
good.
out he's like actually the long lost son of like John Merrick.
Yeah.
And it's like and then like he has like the hood over his face with the eye, and he's like the
Yeah,
elephant man.
But the
Oh,
other
man.
cool thing too, before we bring the guest in, but they're ending the Thundercats comic book at Dynamite, but they're going to be doing a big crossover with Silverhawks. So
Oh,
Thunderhawks
that's
and
cool.
Silverhawks together. And after the crossover, they're going to launch a new book that's going to be a team of Thundercats and Silverhawks together.
That's
I was
well.
like,
I know
that's
that
very
the
cool.
show shared some DNA, I believe.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool that they're crossing that over like that.
That and they also didn't. Wasn't there also a rumor that Tiger Sharks was related to?
I believe so.
somehow?
Yeah,
Do you remember
yeah.
Tiger Sharks? That
I
was a
do,
short-lived
yeah.
one.
Well, the same way that G.I. Joe, Gem, and Transformers were all related because they
Same
shared the same
universe, right?
reporter. Yeah, the same reporter would show up in every show, in all three of the shows.
I remember
right?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what tied those guys together.
And then they had that one episode from the later seasons of G1 with that character called Old Snake that was definitely Cobra
Definitely
Commander.
Cobra Commander. Absolutely.
So good. And even did you have you read the Cobra Commander miniseries from Energon Universe?
No, I haven't read that. Yeah, I didn't
They
get into
show
too much
him.
of the
He's
G.I.
in
Joe
that
stuff. yet.
hat. He's wearing that hat from that episode.
Oh,
The
so that
long
kind of
brim.
ties it even more like
Yes.
together. That's cool.
Yes. How cool
That's
is
really
that?
cool. That's very cool.
dude. Loved it. But
I'm very excited for that Mask series only because I wish I was writing it.
Same, dude. And
I
they're
love
doing
Mask.
exactly how I thought they would do it, but we'll see how it turns out,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But
One other
anyway.
thing I want to shout out is I stopped by Boxborough over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
how was that?
But I did see one of our friends.
Oh yeah, Dave.
Oh,
right?
right.
Yeah.
Cool. I
So
should've gone there.
Dave Gordy, being Gordy, he laid a copy of the book on me.
Sweet.
So yeah, and I can't wait to read it. So big shout out right over here. Thank you
Nice.
so much for the copy. And
Yeah,
I also
we'll
got
talk
to
about that
connect with-
a little after the show. 'Cause I wanna hear a
yeah.
little
Well,
bit.
I'll go into that a little bit more later on.
Definitely. All right. So without further ado, let's get into our guests tonight. Our first one actually I've been interested to talk to. I've done work for, and you actually had a sit down with him in San Diego. Well,
I
was it
know.
last San Diego.
The very last San Diego Comic-Con. So San Diego Comic-Con, they have this thing called Creator Connection, which is this really awesome, like for the lack of a better description, speed dating, but
Okay.
for creators. So
Okay.
they'll pit like an artist across from a writer, and you have 5 minutes to just basically pitch your project. And you rotate around the room and you kind of just like, meet people. And it's not really about making a connection right there on the spot. Like sometimes that, you catch lightning in a bottle and you meet somebody really well. And next thing you know, you're making a project. That worked for me. That's how I got Sartana made.
Okay.
But in this instance, I was sitting across from the person and they had their book and I go to open it up. And what do I see but an ad for Indie Comics Relay? And I'm like, wait what?
a second. Yeah.
and then I looked at the credits and I saw that you lettered the book, Keith.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is my show. I'm on this show. And this is my good friend Keith. He's like, oh yeah, Keith worked for me. And that's where I had to voice time you.
Yeah.
I looked you up because you were in bed or something. And I was like, oh geez.
Yeah, no, I was
bothered you.
up late, but it was the middle of summer, one of the hottest days. I had my shirt off. I looked like a fucking disaster when Johnny called.
It's a family show.
Yeah, right.
I thought Keith was like, like some like Colombian drug lord. He had his man burger meat hanging out, his like toothpick hanging out of his mouth. He may have been counting money. I'm not too sure. There could have been a stack of cocaine in the back. I don't know.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was so
so
out of the blue, but it was amazing. It was awesome.
But what I like to point to in this instance is that the indie comics community is very small.
Yeah.
Small enough that
absolutely.
These
what was the chances that happened? I
Right,
mean, it's
exactly.
crazy. Yeah. So without further ado, let's bring him in and let's chat with him. Hey, so everybody, welcome Nick Ward to the show. Hey, Nick.
Hey,
what's up,
everybody.
man?
How's it going?
Hey, Nick, good to see you again, man.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, San Diego was crazy. I couldn't believe that. I was like, when you were like, yeah, this is my show. I was like,
huh?
Yeah, I was just. Yeah.
What's the chances though? Like, I mean, Johnny was hit it on the head with like the indie community is so small. Like it's
yeah.
When you really you don't believe it until you kind of see evidence of it, and it's really cool, man. So was that your first San Diego that you went to, Nick?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
And it was a great experience. I absolutely loved it. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely could see. I'm like, yeah, comics in general is just like it's really small, like everybody is like, you kind of know I can see how people can start to know everybody pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so it was
that's
a
why
great
they
learning
always say like, not you don't want to diss anybody or you kind of like just want to treat everybody like you're gonna see them again, basically.
Just don't be a dick. That's just the bottom line golden rule, right? Don't be a dick.
Yep. So go ahead.
I was gonna ask Nick. So since the last time I saw you, which was at Creator Connection, and I actually said, like I said, it's sometimes you can catch lightning in a bottle. How was Creator Connection for you? Did you make any connections in that room? Has anything come of it essentially?
Not of Creator Connection itself. I have kept in touch with a couple people from there actually, and maybe potential things, but nothing right now. I did talk with Kai, who did my third variant cover for Peculiar. I talked with him at San Diego. and met him that way, and so got him to do a cover for me, but nothing at Creative Connection specifically.
Well, that's cool though. It's not always like a magic bullet, but I mean, again, look at this. I mean, so technically you could say something came of it because you're booked on this show.
Yeah,
there you go. And you have possible future connections for things,
right. Yeah. I have people that in mind that definitely am interested in working with potentially in the future. So that's nice.
For sure. Awesome. What's up? So Nick, what's your history with comics? Did you grow up with them? Did you do you remember your first comic or?
I don't remember my exact first comic. I know I read like a lot of like Marvel Adventures stuff growing up and things.
Okay.
And then the first comic I remember like buying from a comic shop was Jonathan Hickman's issue number 1 of his Avengers run.
Oh, okay.
Time runs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the time was that one, but the first issue, of that run is what I remember, like the first like actual comic I probably read.
Got it.
And I kind of like fell off of reading comics for a little while, to be honest.
Okay.
And then more during like quarantine and stuff, I started like just like reading a bunch of comics, and started getting back into it. And I read a bunch now, and I just love it. So
it's so funny, like how a lot of stuff kind of came out of like COVID too. Our show came out of COVID. We started our show during COVID. We talked to so many creators that started making their book finally during COVID. So in some ways, I don't want to say it was a good time, but it was for creativity. I think it was really good. Like people were forced to shut down everything around them and just create again, and I think that was a good thing,
Yeah.
But so I'm excited I'm glad you got Peculiar on Kickstarter. Now, is this series? I don't know if I ever asked you when we were working together. Are you planning to do like a run of these? Is it a limited series? Is it?
I'm planning to do more. Yeah, I would like the series to extend longer. I have like 6 like fully written scripts at this point.
Cool.
For like kind of like a first arc.
Yeah.
I don't obviously have like the art for them done per se, but
right.
So I wanted to continue. Just want to see how it goes on the first. Get a Kickstarter going, see what the experience is. I'm new, so I trying to figure it out.
Yeah, not bad though. I mean, you already hit your goal, which is awesome. But obviously, with most Kickstarters, people want to overperform and like do better. But that's a great for first time doing it. I mean, to hit your goal is awesome.
How did you guys connect? How'd you become the letterer on this book?
I don't know. Did you see me on Twitter or something? I don't know if I ever asked you that.
I think you were on a list somewhere of some. I was just doing research on like both artists and letterers and stuff of like who to find, and like there were just articles of people that were out there that was like, hey, these and I contacted several of those people on those lists and stuff, and I don't know, I think you were just on somewhere on there, and I was like, I think your work looks good, so
okay.
I just reached out. But
dude, I'll Google myself. I'm not even aware of this.
Keith's work is the best.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's super nice. So I love what you did with the book. It's great.
Yeah, no,
his rates have gone up. So
go ahead.
His rates have gone up. So his rates have gone up. So you got him at a good time.
Well, he's grandfathered into the old rate. Like
you got in on the ground floor.
Yeah, he got in on the ground floor when I needed work. So.
You got in on the ground floor.
Exactly right.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me turn this all around on you, Keith. What was it like working on Nick's book?
It was awesome, actually. When I looked at the artwork, because I always try to, like, as a letterer, I try to kind of follow the aesthetic of the artwork and the story. So, like when I looked at it, I was like, this would look great without making balloons without borders around them. So it's just like, the white space is all that's there, and you don't have the black edge around it. And I thought
like
it
that,
looked really
actually.
good on this book. Also,
I noticed
it was
that
my
in the free sample.
first time seeing Marcelo Santana's artwork, who I then hired to do Kid Switch #2. So like I saw Marcelo's work here, and I was like, I really like this guy's work. Did he do the colors as well, Nick?
He did, yeah. So
Yeah,
he did everything, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what he's doing for me right now on Kid Switch. And yeah, he's very talented. I really like the look of his artwork.
Yeah,
so it was like it kind of paid it forward for me working on this book. And then I kind of hired Marcelo to work on my book. So yeah, it was good. It was all
Once again,
and he's fast too, which I like. I appreciate. What's that, Harry?
It's a small world. Once again, you guys all can.
Yeah,
it's all in such.
Yeah, Marcelo's easy to work with too. He's very, he'll send me his pencils, lets me approve them, and then and then we go from there, kind of thing. But yeah, very easy to work with. He gets me a page every week or so that I need one, and so yeah, he's very reliable. So if anyone else is looking to hire him down the road, I might bring him back for 3 and 4, probably for Kid Switch as well when I'm ready to do that. But yeah, overall, he's been a really good artist, to work with. Also, I love the story's very unique too. Like, where did your idea for this come from? Were you influenced by other things like that you can point to?
I mean, yes, but like
Okay.
in what aspect do you like any specific aspect that you're talking about?
I mean, like I love the interdimensional thing. So I was curious where that kind of came from, and then also I love that she's an assassin that goes to these other dimensions, and
Well,
very interesting.
Nick, do you mind giving the viewers a little bit of a synopsis or like a
elevator
pitch on the story?
Yeah.
That way you can kind of get them on the hook and they can kind of understand a little bit more about the your project.
Right. Yeah. Of course. So so Peculiar is about an interdimensional assassin who's framed for murder, basically, and she needs to find the goal of the overall arc is she needs to find the real killer to gain her freedom. And so basically there's this entity called the Filter, which is like the secret like governing force behind the universes, and she works for them. And then there's also the tribes, who are like the police force. So they're kind of like two opposite ends of the enforcement spectrum, you could say. And so I don't know. I have a lot of like influences, but my favorite comic story is Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Okay.
So I've always just loved like multiversal stuff because of that. And I think it's like Psycho Pirate is one of my favorite characters in that story too. And I always think it's like super cool that at the end they have like only certain people know, right, that like there ever was multiple universes and stuff. And that's kind of a little bit like what I've tried to carry into this story, is that like the assassin and like the Filter and everybody like just kind of know. They're like the only ones who know. And then there are a few like rogue people out there who like she might be taking down, that they're trying to prevent the spread of like that knowledge of
that these beings exist, kind of thing. Or
that they exist, and that these like other universes exist, in order to prevent like a larger scale conflict. They don't want like total war to break out, so they're trying to keep it contained.
Gotcha.
Kind of like a three-body problem a little bit.
What is it, Johnny?
Well, there's a book and a show called Three Body Problem.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah,
it's,
I've
it's a
not
little
seen
bit like
it,
that
though.
idea. Yeah.
Is it like a multiverse thing?
Oh, more just like aliens and containing the knowledge of it, and people who know,
Oh,
and people
okay.
who don't know,
Gotcha.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, the one thing I
like
will
how you
say,
said, like-
Nick, go ahead, Harry.
No, I like how you say you said like she's like accused of a murder that she didn't commit. I mean, she's committed many other murders, but
right.
but
Yeah,
not
that's
this one.
kind of
You
that's
know,
kind of the
so-
irony.
so-
Yeah, that's what it's like. She is like
So-
she is definitely is guilty of many, but not this one. That's the important
Okay.
one, not this one.
Something.
So this is the only one.
That's the catalyst.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that though. What I was gonna say is that Nick's scripts are really detailed, which is very cool. You know, like from like, you know, it gives, I imagine, Marcelo and myself like just more ideas to play with, and when we can kind of see everything that he's going for, you know. So yeah, out of a lot of writers I've worked with, I think yours are one of the most detailed I've seen, like script wise. And I think that's a good thing. Like you really have your worlds thought out and plotted out, like the lore and everything, you know. So it's really, I mean, that must have been an undertaking, just putting a comic Bible together, let's say, of your series and just figuring out the ins and outs. I would imagine that is kind of a tough thing, you know. But
a little bit. I've like had like I don't know. I've had the world like floating around in my head for a while, so it wasn't like too terrible. Yeah, the scripts are something I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, how much? Yeah, I don't know like how much to necessarily do, but I thought it was the right amount for what I needed to say at that point. So,
yeah, no, it was good, and it's a good solid first issue. Johnny, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, to your point, Nick, to live with the idea for a long time in your head, you're allowing it to marinate, you're allowing it to stew, you can build on it more so. Once you commit it to page and you put it out there, I mean, yeah, you can remix it,
Like,
you can do a special edition, whatever, but it's never the same.
like a
'cause you've
beef,
already...
like a beef stew drop.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
I was going to ask
but
you
to-
too. Okay, sorry, Johnny. Finish.
Yeah, I was
Sorry.
just gonna say, but to that point though, I've always been, kind of an advocate of if you can put an idea in a drawer and then come back to it, and you're just as equally jazzed about it, and you love it just as much as when it went into the drawer, then you know you have a good idea worth working on. You know,
Harry, what were you gonna say?
I was going to ask generally, when did you know? When did you realize you could write? Like, was there a moment where somebody said, like, "Oh, this is like great," but you just wrote? Or was there a moment that you realized you were a good writer?
No. I've always
Okay.
I've liked to write for a while.
That's honest.
I feel like I've always not been very good at it, to be honest. And I've just tried it, and I'm like, yeah, this is like something I like to do, but you know, I haven't like.
Did you ever take any like creative writing classes or anything like that, or is it just more like natural?
I've taken a script writing class in the past, actually.
Okay.
That's about the extent. Everything else I've just kind of tried to figure out myself. I actually I originally started like working on a novel. I wrote like a novel for a little bit, like a few like drafts of a novel.
Okay.
And then I was like, I don't know, I just sort of like fell more into comics, at least right now. That I'm like, oh, I think this would be super cool, because I'm always like, every time I'm like writing, I'm just like, I just want to see like what's in my head, like there, like I want to see the images, you know, like
Yeah,
I can
right,
see it in my
right.
head so perfectly, but I'm like, I would just want to see it real. And I that's like seeing, like when I first found like Marcelo too, I was like, oh, like this, I think he can do it, and he totally did, for me at least.
Yeah,
So I'm
absolutely.
like, yeah, this
And
is
I
awesome.
loved it's a great female character too, like, you know, like with flaws, and like you nailed that aspect of it. I always liked that, because I was even watching something today about like how like the female characters they used to do in like the 80s and 90s were just so much better than the ones that we kind of get now. like, and what they meant by that was like, you know, even thinking of like the Battlestar Galactica remake that they did in 2010, and everyone was like all up in arms about Starbuck being a woman, but like she was such a great female character, and she was like a mess too, like on
She
top of
was.
that, like, very, yeah, but the flaws is what made that character great. Like I thought, you know, where when they write female characters now, you don't see them kind of like that anymore, you know. And I kind of like what you did with Peculiar, you know, like with that aspect specifically. You know, it's like she was badass, but she also has these vulnerabilities that, you know, really good stuff. So I think you nailed it, man. You know, I think you're a pretty solid writer. So
appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
I'm trying.
Now, was this the first comic you've ever made?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, was
is
it
the first-
really? Wow.
This is the first comic I've made. So
pretty great for a first time, man. Like I mean,
how many times somebody knock it out of the park right out the gate like
right
that,
out of
right?
the gate, dude?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
I mean,
often.
no, it's
Nandor, maybe. That's about it.
Maybe, yeah. And I'm sure there's others, but like, yeah, it's like really, really great stuff right out of the gate. Let me show the campaign while we're
let's
talking
pull this
about
page
it
up
too here. So,
and while Keith's doing that, Nick, do you want to give like just a little bit of insight into the campaign, building it, any featured tiers that you think are kind of the ones you'd want to promote the most, or you think people should jump on board for?
yeah, so the campaign is you know, I mean, there's we have three covers for the book. So we have the main cover by Marcelo. We have two other covers, one by Jake Lasher, who's done work for like Upper Deck for like Upper Deck codes and stuff, and
cool.
Kylan Q is an oil painter. He's done like stuff for Marvel Snap and things. He has the third cover. Yeah, so and we have a couple other like fun rewards too. Like this Perler Bee design of the assassin, which I think is pretty cool. I had a few of my friends put this together, and I think they did a great job. And you know, some other stuff. So the physical comic for like cover A and B are like $6 for the physical. And cover C's 8. And if you get like the physical deluxe, it's it includes kind of everything. You know, if you want like all like your chosen cover and then like a poster and stuff. All the physical rewards come with, you know, a digital PDF of the thing too, and some desktop backgrounds. So
that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, these covers are great, dude. Is this the one by the Upper Deck guy?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful work right there.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's awesome.
This one's
That's
good
the one
too.
right
The
there.
painted one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, I think they all came out super cool. So
Perler beads. That's great.
Really happy with it.
Yeah, dude. Really solid campaign too, right out of the gate.
Yeah, I tried to, I don't know, I tried to make it as less, not very wordy, you know.
Yeah, right.
To have
that's
you know,
the better way to go about it. Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, it's like, you know, it's like the value menu. I'll take a number 8. I'll take a number 7. You know, you want to just make it as simplified as possible to the person's eye, where the artwork and the, you know, the words are, you know, kind of just, you know, not necessarily selling it, only kind of just reinforcing it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the pages of artwork are so good too, and
yeah, pretty awesome.
But yeah, no, I really this was a fun project to work on, and I'm glad you hit the goal, so people are going to get this. What's that?
Yeah,
is this a story? Is this a story you had in mind for a while, or?
Yeah, in a way. So as I mentioned before, like the novel I was working on was actually kind of this world. So it was the same world. It was just like a different story.
Okay.
And the assassin was like kind of like a background character. in it, and I was just like kind of exploring things, and I just like had an idea to make a comic around her because I thought I had a good idea for it, and so I just kind of just ran with it, and here's the book. So
well, it's
No,
always
between-
between
between-
assassin as a main protagonist too. You know, you don't often see that too much. You know.
Mhm. I was going to say between you and me, did her colleague set her up? Sorry, you don't have to answer.
You trying to
Don't
get
want to,
spoilers ahead of
It's-
the time?
I can't say.
No. I know you don't have to. Yeah, I'm sorry. I do that a lot.
Harry, you were watching Kill Bill. You got the wrong story.
Yeah, right.
Do you so you
parodying
said
the-
Crisis was a heavily influential on the project.
And
There's
you
a lot of
mentioned
good
Burn
multiverse
Notice
stuff.
too.
What's
I
that?
did,
Notice,
yeah.
and I don't know.
Oh,
Burn
Burn
Notice.
Notice. Okay.
Is
Yep.
a show. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it.
I've seen it. Yeah.
It's basically about like
Heard of it.
a spy who's burned, which is like he's blacklisted, and he doesn't like know who burned him,
So he's trying to figure
and he's
it
trying
out.
to like figure it out, and like meanwhile he's like he has like limited resources, on like how he can figure it out, and the whole show's about like him figuring out who did it, but yeah,
Great
so
show.
it's
Great show.
it's a really good show, and that's kind of like has a similar premise to what my
Yeah, you
story
should see that one, Harry. It's really good. It's was that like 7 seasons that show?
Yeah, it's
Something
like
that?
7 seasons, started
How
in like
badly-
07.
How
What's
badly
that?
were they burned? Were they? It wasn't the same. It wasn't like Pizza the Hut burned, right? Like how badly were they burned?
What wasn't Third Degree?
No, it's just the
No, it's
term for the
yeah, it's just like yeah,
yeah, it's like the
it's-
term for
they're
like
just blacklisted.
when you're
Yeah.
betrayed or whatever
Yeah.
from the
Oh, that
you
kind
get
of
issued a
burned.
burn.
yeah, so they're just like yeah, he's basically fired.
Sorry.
He's
Yeah,
fired,
basically
essentially.
it's a
Oh, okay,
fancy
okay.
word for
That-
termination.
Yeah.
Harry's like, are we talking like
Ah.
roof for your mouth when you eat some hot pizza, or like Freddy Krueger?
Pizza
like,
the Hut. Yeah, like how like
But it's great because
Sorry, wrong burn.
it has Bruce Campbell in it.
It
as a
does. It does
supporting-
have Bruce
Oh.
Campbell, yeah. Yeah, he has a
And
pretty big role in the
the
show.
main guy. I forget the actor's name who played the main guy there.
It's Jeffrey Donovan, I want to say.
Yeah, Jeffrey Donovan.
Yeah.
He's so good in it too because a lot of the episodes were him pretending to be other people. to
Yeah,
get
he has all these
information.
cover IDs all the time. Yeah,
Yeah, and he
so
had cover IDs, and he was so good at like all the different roles he played. Kind of like it's kind of reminded me of Chevy Chase in the first Fletch movie, where he had like all these different
Okay.
like costumes and like.
I liked
you
him
know
as
what I mean?
the basketball player with the 8-foot afro.
Yes.
That was a good one.
or Alias was kind of like that too, though, right?
Yes, it was sort of
Yeah.
in the vein of
It was
Alias.
like the male Alias.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it was good stuff. I would recommend it if you've never seen it. It's a solid show. What else I was gonna say though is there's been some awesome multiversal stuff like besides like Crisis and
The
like,
Flash.
one of the ones that inspired me because the Kid Switch is very multiversal too. I was mostly inspired on that one by the TV show Sliders, which people may or may not remember that one, but I always loved the concept of Sliders where they were always on the same Earth, but it was always a different dimension of reality. So it was like an Earth that dinosaurs were still alive or Hitler had won, it was like that kind of thing, but it was the same place. It was same place, same exact time, but different, like, things.
Every season had at least one episode that was like reminiscent of what the like hottest movie was that year.
Yes.
So like one year was like, oh my god, they're on like Tornado Planet, and it's like it was Twister, and then they have the
That's so
dinosaurs
true.
for Jurassic Park.
It was
and,
like
yeah.
Smallville too. Whatever like movie was out, Smallville had like a villain of the week that was like kind of heavily inspired by
Great
that
show.
horror movie. Or
right,
something.
right.
Um, Johnny or
Mhm.
Harry, did you guys have a favorite multiversal thing like that you liked or
Harry?
Well, I mean,
No,
I didn't
Doctor
enjoy the
Who, right?
CW's. Well, the CW's version of that. Ever see that? The CW, like when all the shows
Sliders?
join forces, like
No,
no,
you're talking
like
about
they had
when
like
they did Crisis
like
on Infinite Earths on CW.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, like the CW
Yeah,
did.
Ever
Yeah,
see
that
that?
wasn't bad.
That was pretty good. I like that.
They
I
did
like
that a
how,
couple
speaking of
times.
Smallville, they revisited the original, the OG, show that started the superhero show that started it all, like Smallville. They had like
Yep.
older Tom Welling and Lois on the farm, but when he had
Yeah,
no
that was
powers, he gave up
great.
his powers to. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yep, I love that.
Oh.
How about you, Johnny? Did you ever have a favorite multiverse thing?
Well, I always considered like those like TV shows or like that TV trope or the like Groundhog's Day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
yeah.
kind of a multiversal thing, you know, or like there's a really awesome episode of Community where they're all playing Dungeons and Dragons, and with each role they're showing what an alternate reality could have been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things like that I've always loved, and or even like a more recent example is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
Great example of just kind of like how insignificant we are in the whole thing, but
yeah, right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
But how also
Well,
how important we are as insignificant as we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're the only idiots like causing wars. You know, let's say we're the only planet with life on it, you know, in the universe that we know of, which we are. You know, I mean that we know of anyway. And we're killing each other, you know. But anyway,
yeah, right.
Did you guys ever hear? Did you ever hear the theory behind Groundhog Day? Like
No, I'd like to hear this one actually.
No, there's a theory behind it.
Yeah, the guy that kept like that nerdy guy that's trying to sell him life insurance. He kept saying, Ned. You know, So people were saying that he's actually the devil. And Bill Murray character assigned his life away, and he lived his life in that perpetual world, because he signed his life away or whatever, and he actually lived in that lifetime for thousands of years. And it's like a whole thing if you read about it. And Harold Ramis was like a big believer of that, who's like the I think he produced or directed that movie. So I think he said he was like in that world for a very long time. Like it wasn't just like a year or so, it was a long time. And he relived his life until he was able to redeem himself. So that guy is actually the devil that he was saying.
And that was technically purgatory or hell.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Interesting.
Exactly.
I like that. I like that take on that.
Yeah, kind of a stretch, and the devil being an insurance salesman. Yeah, that kind of checks out, I guess.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, Shay said that's an awesome theory.
Yeah,
hey, Shay,
I think it's
for joining
a thing.
us.
Yeah, thanks for watching, man.
Yeah, right. And Dr. Mass says, "Say it right, sliders." Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Dr. Mass brought up a great one. Have you seen
Happy Death
Day? Yeah, that was
awesome.
A great movie. Also written by a comic guy, Scott Lobdell. Remember Scott Lobdell?
That's right.
He used to write for Wildstorm and a lot of other I think he wrote for Marvel, and most recently he did the New 52 Red Hood series. And then I don't know if he's dropped off comics again, but yeah, that was a great movie. I love that movie. Second one, not so much. The first one's great though.
The second one was less of a horror movie and more of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, which is why I didn't like it as much.
Yeah,
I think I liked the horror elements,
the slasher elements of the first one. Yeah,
kind of went away from what it was, But anyways.
Yeah. Now, Nick, in terms of peculiar, what genre would you say it securely fits in? Because I mean, multiversal could really hold anything. I mean, like the example of Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's both horror, comedy, action, it's everything. So what would you say is the best tone you could put to peculiar?
Yeah, it's more of a sci-fi action book, I would say. That's most of what the tone of a lot of it. I try to make it. I definitely have a ton of fun like with writing like the choreography of like the fights and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just super fun. And something that I have for like future issues is kind of that each issue basically, like the assassin is using like a different weapon. So like she's using the knives in issue 1, and that's kind of like the thing. But then, in subsequent issues, she'll switch out her weapons, and she has a big weapon stash that she has like of all these, different obscure weapons and stuff. So
like
I
stashed
like
in other universes and everything like that.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
I like just writing that stuff. It's fun because just coming up with the different ideas of like what.
That's cool because I like that you I like that you enjoy the action part of comics, because I feel like a lot of people don't like that part of it, and I feel like that's what makes a comic is to have these fisticuffs and these action scenes. Not just some people, writers just sometimes hate writing that stuff. Not me. I'm the same way too. I like to choreograph how a battle goes in the comic, and because it has a certain tempo and it on its own with the writing. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I would agree with you on that. Anything else?
So are the weapons she?
Oh, go ahead, Harry.
I was going to ask: are the weapons she uses like her own, or the ones does she always steal from the people, her victims, the people she hunts?
Yeah, so that's what
criminals.
Yep, yeah. So in the preview pages, you can kind of see that that she basically so she takes all of her weapons are from her like previous kills. So all the people that she's killed, she just like kind of takes their weapons and then uses them in the future. So she's built up this mass of weapons because of
Arsenal.
her past missions. So
that's cool. It's almost got a little bit of Punisher quality to it, huh, Johnny?
A little bit, yeah. I was going to say,
Punisher used to steal the drug money, and
that's right.
Buy his more weapons, and
and that's what would lead to like Armory, where like you would get sub issues of just like, hey, this is the stash of crap that the Punisher has now, and like all just the different arsenal that you go through, which is cool. Like I feel like comics need more of that. And that would be actually a really cool supplemental piece, Nick, if you ever wanted to do that for a stretch goals, like, the full arsenal of weapons,
Yeah, almost like those old handbooks, like the Marvel handbooks.
Exactly.
Those are awesome. I love those things. Anything else that you want to share about the comic at all, Nick? Or like anything you want to tell the viewers about the campaign that they should check out? Or
yeah, I don't know anything in particular per se. It's just the book is supposed to be like kind of a first chapter a little bit, but it does kind of, I try to make it stand on its own, as much as it can. So it's 22 pages of story. It's try to make some fun action in there and stuff, and I'm excited for everybody to check it out. So I
shared the link for everybody to check out the Kickstarter project. Also, if you're watching this tomorrow on YouTube, the link will be in the description of the video. Nick's already made the goal, which is awesome.
Congrats on that, by the way.
16 days to go, so we want to pump that thing right up. And do you have stretch goals planned?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay.
Nothing at the moment. Maybe, but I'm working on maybe.
Okay.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah, why not? I mean, if you can get up, you can get bookmarks pretty cheap. You can do stickers. You could do anything. I would say just keep it flat so it makes it easier to ship.
Yeah, I definitely thought about that when making. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do, especially for my first time, I'm not gonna do anything extravagant. We're gonna make sure it fits in this box, and
get a bunch of the Geminis.
I'm not doing anything else weird. I'm like, yep, it has to fit in a Gemini mailer. If it doesn't, I'm not offering it.
Yeah, no, it's smart. I mean, the more you offer that's not flat like that, it's gonna just get tougher to ship it and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was like, I need to keep it simple right now for my first time, at least. I just,
Yeah, I hear you, man.
It's easy to get carried away though, because all of this is it becomes an exciting process, especially after you hit. Right? It's like all the worry is kind of done, and now it's just like, oh, how do I can maximize this, and what other fun stuff can I do?
Yeah. So Nick, do you want to share out your socials before we wrapped up this interview? Did you want to share where people can find you?
Yeah, so at Explodey Pan, it's on the, it's my headline or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
So on Instagram and Twitter, it's just where I am right now. Maybe more places in the future, but that's right now. So
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, follow Nick on Instagram and Twitter. Check out Peculiar, and like I said, it'll be in the description of the video tomorrow if you're watching it, or you can snag it out of the chat tonight. I posted it there a couple times. So all right, Nick, anything else you want to tell the audience before we let you go and move on to our second interview?
Yeah, I don't think so. I just really appreciate you guys having me. That was great.
Yeah,
time,
absolutely,
so.
man. It was nice to finally
thanks for being
talk to
here.
you too, and
Yeah, for sure.
when
Nice
you're ready
to
to
meet
do
you.
part 2, hit me up.
Yeah, will do. I will do. Definitely.
Awesome. All right.
Good to see you again, Nick. We'll see you in San Diego.
You going
Yes,
to San
I
Diego?
will be in San Diego this year. So
See you
in
I'll
San
have
Diego,
to,
my
have
man.
to meet up. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Nick. Well, have a good one, man, and congrats on hitting your goal. Let's hopefully we can get you up a little higher there.
Thanks. Yeah. Have a good night, guys.
All right, you too, man.
Yeah,
Thanks
have a
for
good night.
coming
Thank
on.
you. Nice meeting you.
All right,
You
see
too.
ya. Awesome. That was great.
Very
That was
cool.
really good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So like I said, I was happy to work on this project. And Amy said, nice hearing about your work, Nick. Dr. Mass said, good night, everyone. Catch you on the replay.
Thanks for checking
And,
in.
Hickman for real says, I can't wait to read it. Awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's
look at
great.
that. Hype.
Some good
I did
people
like
as
I
well.
did like
there
the
already.
I did like the white word bubbles or speaking, just
Yeah,
by
isn't
themselves,
that-
like
isn't it-
not it
If
just
I did-
pops
if I
more. It pops
the
more from the
black
back.
yeah, don't you think? Like if I put the black outline, I don't think it would have looked as good. It would have looked okay, but
Yeah, I like the
like,
way you did it. Yeah, it's good. I mean, the black, outlines it, or frames it.
yeah, absolutely. But like with the artwork, the way it was like done in these like purples and blues, like I just thought like having a just white would be good,
Oh yeah, yeah,
And,
it works.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool.
You almost know what you're doing, Keith.
Almost.
It's like
it seems like you do.
but it's like a sense of design too. Like when you do lettering, it's like a
Right.
design, So you would, I think,
Is that the first time you've
Harry,
tried
if you
that?
applied yourself, you would be a good letterer, I think. Because
Yeah.
you have that
It seems-
sense of design.
Oh my
Lettering
god,
is
I
like the
can't go any,
score
like,
of a comic book.
like I,
What's
I
that,
think I
Harry?
still have PTSD. Whenever I drive, like home from work or to work or whatever, I see like trucks go by me, and like I always notice the lettering on the trucks. I'm like, oh, that's that font, and that's this font, and like
Yeah.
it's like whatever. Like it's still, it never leaves you, like or
Yeah, I
sometimes I like the way that a logo might look, and I always one of these days when I'm going to get in an accident, not because I'm looking at some girl next to me, it's going to be like a font. I'm like, oh, I like that. And like go off the rails.
Officer, I noticed some papyrus looking at me.
Yeah.
Yes, that would.
I do
guilty
the
as
same
charged, yes.
thing though. I do the same thing because once you know the font names and stuff, it's like it's hard to not know that
Yeah.
stuff.
Is that
Good
Arial?
stuff.
Or is that Helvetica? I think it could be.
Yeah, copper Gothic bold, and
Yeah.
Helvetica is a harsh mistress.
yes.
Yeah.
I like Helvetica though. Helvetica is good.
One of these days, I gotta read you my so like when I was at Deluxe, a while ago. Me and my friend Kim, I told her I read an article that the creator, the inventor of Helvetica, had died. I'm like, oh my god, well, sad to hear. But then like I'm like, oh, it's funny, then I wrote this whole story using type styles about Helvetica, the what do you call it? The epitaph, like Helvetica was I got one day I gotta read it. I have it saved. I should probably it's pretty funny. Maybe during a writer's room circle or table thing.
Oh, that wouldn't be
Yeah,
so bad.
I can read it. Yeah.
Amy's right. I do call out the fonts when we see them in trailers. I will let her know what the font is. But anyway,
What's your favorite font? Hey Keith, what's your favorite font before we go to the next guest? You do you have a favorite font that you like or use a lot?
I do like Helvetica. I think it's very, simple and
Mhm.
looks nice. But there's a lot of the ones I
Yeah.
like are probably ones you haven't heard of. They're more like comic based ones, like Comic
Not
Craft.
Comic
There's
Sans.
a lot of awesome.
Like,
fonts that I
Nobody
love.
likes Comic Sans.
Oh, Comic Sans.
No.
Is good. If you use
Nobody
that
likes-
to letter your comic, you're done.
You're
That thing
done.
is-
You might as well
I
go
can't even
home.
look at it. Like if Comic Sans is so bad, like I've
Yeah.
seen some comics with it too. It's I don't know.
Keith
Stick a
likes
fork in you.
Keith likes font. I like fond. That's the stuff you scrape at the bottom of the pan that creates flavor in your dish.
Well, we got our second guest in the waiting in the wings, which we haven't had on the show in like a year or so.
It's been a
It's
little bit
while.
actually.
It might have even been
Yeah.
longer than that. When was the last time he was
Might have
here?
been
Was
longer.
it the second issue of his
Was
comic?
it was the second issue? I think. Yeah, he was promoting at the time.
Yeah, now
he'll-
he's about to do his fourth issue. So
yeah, we missed
Yes,
him on the
it's been a
third
while.
one, but we're happy to have him back for the fourth here.
yeah,
And,
absolutely.
Awesome guest, stand-up comedian, much
Yep.
like you were, Keith. Very funny. Also a podcast host.
Yes, that's right. Yep. I don't know if we ever asked him that much about his podcast stuff, like when he was on, but
We'll have
Sure,
to
we
dive
can
a little bit
tonight.
deeper into it.
yeah, right. Well, without further ado, that was a great talk up. So let's bring him right in. Mr. Deece Casillas, what's up?
What's up, guys? And for the record,
Hey.
Calibri. So if anyone was wondering,
Ah, good, nice
That's
one.
You're a fan of
Nice,
Cleveland.
nice
so,
one.
yeah,
Very nice.
That's good. That's a good one. I like
yeah,
that
it's-
one.
I like it because it's assertive but not pushy.
Yep.
Just it's a
It
classic.
sounds
What it is. Yeah.
it sounds very tropical. Like you could have a
Right.
like you could drink it out of a coconut.
yeah. That
Or
sounds
like a cologne. Someone
yeah,
in
that or it's
Calibri.
like some German sex move that they do.
Yeah.
Gave him the
Oh,
Calibri. Like, oh my god, yeah, finished with the Calibri. Huh? Yeah, you have dislocated my retina.
Yeah, das Calibri is good.
Yeah, or it sounds like it almost sounds like a Game of Thrones character, doesn't it? The
Right.
Khaleesi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Khaleesi. Oh, yes. Khaleesi's
But
cousin.
anyways, Deece, how's it been going, man? We haven't seen you in a little while.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out when I was on last two. I think it was number 2, but I didn't really make the rounds for number 3. I was in the midst of touring and I just didn't do my due diligence. I was too busy, unfortunately. But I'm glad to be back for this. Yeah, doing good, man. Things are busier than ever, but just practicing my Hebrew for our future overlords. Getting that, getting my silo. I got a shipping container delivered. Not the ones that Wayfair uses, like not the ones that sells $8,000 pillows. The one I'm talking about, this is to live in, the ventilation system, things like that.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, just living in the world today, man. Things are great.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I think it's exceptionally harder to make comics in the world today because the world's so fucking bizarre and fucked up.
Yeah, how do
It's
I
just like
beat
anything
this?
we write that's fantastical can't even compare.
I can't top reality, unfortunately.
Yeah, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Every day it's like something new, and then like something unbelievable will happen, and then like 2 days later it's already forgotten, and like it's very bizarre.
I just want to know. I just want to hear the UFO arc, the stuff that they're hiding.
Yeah,
coming out.
that's all just it's smoke and mirrors to keep. I mean, they're hiding something, but it's smoke and mirrors to get us off of.
Yep.
What happened in the good old
Epstein
days
Island.
when the craziest thing that happened was like a former running back kills his wife and a waiter. Like that's the like that was the biggest story for like 3 years, and now we're
He never found the murderer, the real killer.
Yeah,
He's
it's
out
so
there
sad,
somewhere.
Yeah, he's still
Right.
out there.
God bless
Yep.
him, the juice, man. He really, I thought he was going to do it, man. I thought he was going to do it. What's the craziest thing to me about that, too? I'm going to derail this show instantly. Is that he wrote that book.
I was going to do it, but
Yes, I remember that.
Book like, hey, if I did kill these people, he's like, because you can't, double jeopardy. You can't You can't strive me again for this. But if I did kill these people, here's
If
how
I-
I want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Jesus.
Right. If I did do that, what?
Wasn't
he
there
had
a
a- he
show
had a-
about that
like a-
too? Like they interviewed him about it. Wasn't there a TV, like an hour special or something about that?
Probably like Brian
know.
Gumbel sits down.
Yeah, something like
some
that.
weird
Like
shit,
it was like if I had done it, like it was like the book.
You know,
Yeah.
Can I further derail it? So in the courtroom when he was trying on the
further
glove,
derail.
you know, hold on. When he was trying on the glove, first of all, the glove had already been, you know, wet by who knows what, blood, rain, whatever, and it shrunk. And he was wearing a surgical glove already on his hand. And he was trying to put it on. Of course, it's not going to fit. You know?
Well, sure.
Well,
Yeah, and he also was trying to put it on like he actively had like MS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was
Yeah.
trying to stick his hand in like this. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Put a glove on, man. You know, yeah. I mean, of course, you know, I couldn't, it wouldn't fit. You'd be like doing everything you can. You'd be putting your thumb in the pinky hole, being like, I don't even know how gloves work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. What do you call these things? Gulabs?
Right.
Gloves. Interesting. What are they for?
Yeah.
Okay.
He loves. He loves.
Says the spokesperson for Isotoner.
Right. Yeah.
So good.
Oh my God.
The
We
good old
completely went
days.
off the rails. So
Yeah.
how can we tie this back to Kill Stan?
Well, you know who else likes killing people? No,
Yeah, right.
Well, actually, I know how. So speaking of gloves and masks, do you actually own a mask of Kill? What's his name? Stan or whatever.
You
Or
know,
is it Stan?
I actually found a guy. I met him at a convention
Yeah.
who makes these really legit like resin cast masks. And he's actually made some that have been featured in like some of the Friday the 13th movies and stuff. He does a lot of those.
Cool. Okay.
And he lives kind of near me, probably about half an hour away. And I want him to make one. It's just it'd be like $160, which really isn't bad. But I'd love to get one to just have on the table at the convention. I think it'd be super
of course.
cool.
Oh yeah.
But it's an on the list thing. But yeah, that's one of the things I'd like to do.
Well, maybe when one of the campaigns overperforms or something, you'll have that extra money to, you know what I mean, to make something like that. That'd be cool. That would be cool.
Excuse me. Yeah, I just think it'd be like a cool thing to have at the booth and stuff. You know.
Have you been doing more conventions since you have a couple issues now?
Oh man, I did 36 conventions in 2025.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah,
shit.
And I've done a couple this year. I definitely scaled it back this year just because I've got a lot of comedy stuff on the books. You know, I got a good scope of which ones were worth it and which ones weren't. I've got some other new ones I'm going to do this year, and definitely some ones I'm not doing again. Trying to figure out if I can make San Diego this year. Working on that at the moment. I got approved to get in, but I'm trying to figure if we can make it work. So
you don't have a table.
This might be a dumb question. Oh, yeah, sorry.
They just sent me an email that says I was approved as a vendor, like approved. My professional application is approved to apply for it or to like submit for a table. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen or not this year, but you know, it's one step closer.
Johnny's
does your comedy
that whole thing?
Does your comedy tour coincide with your Comic-Con appearances?
That's what I was going to ask.
Work together? Or?
Yeah, I have somewhat. It's been a little. I mean, yes and no. So, I mean, it does work out sometimes. A lot of times, I did last year a lot of conventions. If I was going somewhere, I'd plan ahead and book some shows in that area. This year's been a little different because I took some time off. I didn't do as many comedy shows last year, and a lot of pent up bookers trying to get me on stuff this year. So I just kind of filled some calendar dates. Like I'm in California all next week doing shows all through this Californian stuff, then Arizona, and you know, you try to find these shows that you can link up with them, or it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Gotcha. No, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you're busy. Like, you still doing your podcasting? We were just talking about that we didn't really talk to you about that in the past.
Yeah. Pretty much every Wednesday. I say it's every Wednesday. It used to be every Wednesday. Now it's most Wednesdays. But just with travel and stuff. But it's it's still going. I'm bringing different guests on all the time. I mean, it's not. I talk to everyone. So I do talk to some indie creators and other comic. I've had a lot of bigger comic creators on too. I mean, Kevin Eastman, Fabian Nicieza, Eric Larson, Kelly Thompson. Just talked to Corinne Howell a couple weeks ago. She was great. But I try to break it up because I've been doing the show for 12 years. And I mean, I don't want to just do comic creators because I didn't start having comic creators on really until a couple of years ago. So I don't want it to be just that because it was not just that for so long,
So what is it? Is it comedians too, and then people from other walks of life? Or
it's kind of whoever I want to talk to these days.
Gotcha.
It's whatever I find interesting. Because where I used to live in Washington State, I actually had like a whole sound studio in my house where I had like a recording studio and I had a producer on the show and a news anchor, and it was like we had segments and bits, and I brought guests in every week, and like we had it was like a whole production. And then when COVID happened, it kind of made it where it was more like this. I was doing like one-on-ones virtually, and then I moved to Texas, and then it's tougher to find guests that I can have access to as many people I can bring in here. So it's more one-on-ones and stuff. But I mean, I've talked to presidential candidates. I've talked to people who fucking used to be like a zoo animal wrangler just because I thought that'd be interesting. I like psychic mediums. There's a guy who comes on pretty regularly who works with like the Innocence Project, for like criminal justice reform and stuff like that. So all kinds of things that I think are whatever is,
what interests you kind
How
of
was
like.
Go ahead. Was
Harry.
the psychic medium able to? Was he or she able to read you at all, or were they good at what they do? The
I did. They said they got to do like a reading in person to get like a full read. So they were interesting. There's one person I talked to that uses your whole birth chart to figure out the best place for you to live.
Weird.
Yeah. There's some, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It was interesting. I don't know how much I believe in it, but it was interesting. She's got a process. Yeah.
I wonder if it's just a matter of convincing you that she's right. It's not really that's the right thing.
Right.
The whole thing's just trying to convince you that it's the right thing.
Well, one thing all these
That's
people
the
have
thing,
one thing all these people have in common is they're all wacky broads with too much time on their hands. So like
remember
like
Sylvia Brown?
Who
Sylvia Brown. She was her name is Sylvia Brown. She was on the Montel Williams show every now and then, like often actually.
Oh, okay.
And she sounded like she smoked like 8 packs a day. She had a very deep Barry White voice. You know what I mean? Like a very, very. I wish I had her voice.
I don't know. I was more of a Ricky Lake guy in that time slot. So, that's just me though.
The thing that fascinated me about her, though, she went to the audience one time and she's like, "Oh, let me do some readings here." And this couple stood up, it's like, "Oh yeah, we lost our kid, whatever, or somebody, And I was like, "Do you know where she is?" Like, "Yes. Look for her. Look for a barrel in this parking garage, second level, whatever." I'm like, and he's like, "Oh, thank you. Now do the follow up." What happened? Was she in the barrel? What? They never
Very
do
specific.
that.
Yeah.
That wasn't good for ratings.
Also, the lady's like, I also killed your daughter.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the final verdict with the psychics for me was with Howard Stern was it Valerie Harp who is Van Halen's
Valerie Harper.
Valerie Harper. He had a secret word with her like before she died.
Yeah.
And no psychic has been able to get the word.
Oh,
so
Old Perlman solved it.
But
that
that's
guy
that's a whole other thing though. I think that's more like they call it mentalism. Like it's more like
is that the guy that like he was on like Joe Rogan
read your
and
mind.
That figured out his
that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, right.
For something he does, the way he asks questions and the way he disseminates the information, he like figured out statistically like what you would use is like your
yeah, that's what he's doing. It's not like a real psychic thing. It's
right. Which I mean, I think it's like a lot. I think there is, maybe there's something to that where the some of these nutty broads are just kind of like subconsciously tapping into that ability, whether they realize they're doing it and they're like, snake oil salesmen bullshitting people into, like they're really figuring it out, but the how is they're making it a little more mystic than it is. Or maybe some of them don't even realize like what they're actually doing, but they just kind of figured out the formula to get there,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think this is what happens when you fucking aerosol patchouli. It gets weaponized and then starts to emulsify your brain. So
that's awesome.
That's just a working theory I have. So far, it's right 100%. But
I'm with your wife though, Keith. Amy says some of us are really good at observing and guessing. That's 100% a fact.
That's what it is. Yeah,
that's a fact. Because we're too busy looking at titties, and then next thing you know, they're like this, and this. You're like, yeah, sure. Here's my wallet.
Yeah, right. So true. But to get it back to comics here,
I was gonna say we digress.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think so real quick, Keith, I think what we should do actually for anybody, because it's been a while you've been on the show, Deece, just bring people into what Kills Stan is.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so suicide by vigilantism. It's a story about a guy who wants to end his own life, so he decides to do it through vigilantism. It's a neo-noir crime thriller on the surface, but really it's like a character piece about one man's journey of loss and trauma and the crazy things we do when we feel like we have nothing left to live for.
Nice.
That's kind of the elevator pitch.
And where is Stan in book 4? What's he up to now? Has he found happiness or?
Has he found happiness? Well,
still alive.
Well, I think like the Beatles said, happiness is a warm gun. So I think he's found happiness, depending on how you look at it. Yeah. But number 4, the Kickstarter launches in a couple weeks. We're in the pre-launch right now, and we're just trying to. I'm kind of, when it launches is kind of in flex a little bit because I try to time it so the book is finishing when the Kickstarter finishes, so I can roll it right to.
Cool.
So I'm kind of trying to gauge that right now with my creative team to see when that'll be before I actually launch. So right now we're just kind of gathering followers on the pre-launch page. But number 4 is going to give us a little more insight into Stan, maybe a little bit more background of what is going on and some why, but maybe not too much, just a little peek behind the curtain.
Nice. Yeah, I think if I remember right, you said this was going to be like a maxi series, right? Like 10 issues or something
10 issues. Yep, 10 issues.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so you're almost halfway. Like that's pretty good. Like for an indie book, you to even get 2 issues out is amazing, So that's awesome, man.
We're cranking along. I figure we got the first one out in like I think October of 24. So, I mean,
So are you averaging about 2 issues a year? By that math, kind of, or maybe a little less?
Well, a little more, because I mean, we figure October was when the first
that's
one
right.
came
Yeah,
out.
so that's almost the end of the year.
I mean,
Yeah.
really, like every 4 months. Is that right? 4, 8, 12, yeah, about every 4 months.
That's a good pace, though. That's a really good pace for an indie creator. Like, that's pretty good. Like, I'm shooting just to get like 2 books out a year if I'm lucky. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough.
It's a struggle.
I'm pushing hard to try to get it for a lot of reasons, but that's just trying to make keep it in the zeitgeist as much as possible.
Well, that, and then once you have it finished, you have this thing that you could take around. Like, do you have a plan with it after? Are you going to try to shop it as sell the rights, or maybe sell TV or movie rights and things like that? Or?
I mean, if you know anyone who's looking, that's
the thing, right? Just trying to find that
sell it
person.
now if you want to. I mean, obviously I would love to do something. If someone's interested, I would definitely want to do something. I mean, really in my head, where I think it would perform best is like like adult animation, like a HBO Spawn type series. I think
that'd be
would shine.
Was there a time that you actually had an offer, but it wasn't the right fit or something?
Yeah, I did. That's actually kind of how the book, what prompted me to self-publish, is because I had an offer to make the book through what the hell's the name of the company? Apex Comics.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a small indie company, but like Mario Nicieza, Fabian Nicieza's brother, is one of the executives and writers there. Ron Friends does some work there. Fabian Nicieza's done some work there.
Yeah, I remember Apex. They put out a couple books, right? They had a superhero one.
Yeah.
That Ron Friends did. It reminded me of like Captain Marvel, like Shazam or something.
A little bit. Yeah. They had like
the name of it.
I forget the name too. They gave me a bunch of the books because I worked a convention for them. That's kind of what happened. Is talking to Fabian, he was saying how his brother needed someone to help at the LA Con, and I was going to be in LA that weekend doing comedy anyway. So I'm like, I'll just, during the day I'll do this convention. And then, I talked to Mario afterwards, and he called me to kind of thank me for doing the convention. He's like, we didn't really get to talk much. And he was like, you write, you comedy, you write your own material. I'm like, yeah, of course. He goes, you write anything else? I go, yeah, I've written lots of stuff, books I've written for TV, film stuff, I mean, all sorts of stuff. She goes, you ever think about doing comic books? And I'm like, well, actually, I kind of had this, I had this book, that I was working on, and he wanted to look at it. He's like, well, I'll give you some notes. And they looked at it, and the editor-in-chief looked at it, and they loved it. They wanted to do it, but there were some changes they wanted to make that I really didn't want to budge on, that I was and I mean, honestly, I'm glad it gave me the, I think, validation to be like, this is, good enough to do. Because, if they're like, we want to do this, I'm like, so this is like a viable thing. And then I started kind of crunching the numbers. I'm like, I think I can just do this my way, and then keep, not that they were going to take any ownership, but they would have, it would have changed the book a lot, or not enough that I wasn't satisfied with doing that, which maybe also circles back to your question about the TV and film stuff, where like, I joke, but I would be very, it'd have to be the right thing.
Yeah. Like you would want, like, so if you'd want creative control where they couldn't change the elements that you wanted to keep in there.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. That's so badass that you could do it on your own terms, though. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't a lot of people would kill for a publishing opportunity and would even compromise their story for that because they think it might get them somewhere else. But you're like, no, man, this is what I want to do.
It's not all that. I mean, I was with Alterna for a while, and the only thing I really got out of that really was like a more of a audience. Like, I was open up to their audience and stuff.
Yeah.
And I retained a lot of those people, but like, it was like nightmare working with a publisher. So
It's just cool to do it on your own terms, though, and without
I mean, I love that I'm
do some other nonsense,
and you can do distribution on your own now too. Like I just signed up with the Filbo distribution, and that seems I mean it's just in the beginning phases of it, so I don't know how it'll be long term. But that guy's really committed to comics. You might want to look into that down the road when you have like 6 of them under your belt or whatever, or.
Yeah. I mean, it just, you start looking at you start looking at these really small indie companies that are like fractions of a fraction of the market that they're getting. And like, part of you is like, oh, well, they're in like the catalogs, they're in previews or whatever exists now, not previews, that's gone, whatever version of that exists now. But you're like, how much is this really selling? They're doing Kickstarters on some of their books too. And, I'm looking at their lineup and I'm like, this is not, my book is definitely like a wildly different from what they're doing. They're doing pretty traditional, like, I would say pretty like standard early 90s, maybe late 80s, like superhero comic books, And no disrespect, but like nothing I consider like super interesting. Just meaning like it's like what you'd expect if you picked up a comic book, like. Yeah,
are you talking like publisher, like where it's like you wouldn't want to be under a publisher that's doing just all these superhero books, or are you talking more?
I just don't think I didn't look at I started thinking about it and being like, I don't think we even have the same audience.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
like I don't.
Your book would be fit like for something like Vertigo or
right.
Like maybe like a Mad Cave or one of those kind of publishers. I think would be a better fit for that.
Or even Top Shelf.
Yeah, like people that put out like personal work, like Yeah,
it just didn't. I'm like this. It's just not gonna. It's not going to have this. It's not going to be the same. It's not. Well, I mean, if it came out the way they wanted to, maybe it would have been more towards what their publisher is. And again, no disrespect to their line, they're doing their thing. It's what they want to do, and that's great. I just had a vision for the book, how I wanted it to look, how I wanted it to feel, and going forward. And I think, they wanted to use an artist that I didn't want to use. I think they would have been colored differently. I think they wanted to change the title, and it just too much would have.
Yeah, no, there's something to keep in your own vision, but like I was, the Filbo thing is more of a distributor, not a publisher. So, he's got distribution into like 600 stores.
Oh yeah.
So he's got a small little, but I think it's going to grow. He has a couple things in the fire that could be a game changer. So look into him when you're ready to kind of get it out more into a wider audience,
Yeah, I'll definitely hit him up. Cause I mean, we're going to, we're pushing issue after issue, and we're actually going to do a collected edition with this next Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's perfect.
With the first 4 issues.
That's the next step, trying to get it into as many hands as you can get, It's easy to, well, it's not easy to make the book, but I mean, that's to me, the easier part than trying to get it somebody to read it,
Yeah, I think I was going to wait and do, because it's 10 issues. I was going to wait and do 5 and 5, just because it makes more sense. But a couple things convinced me otherwise. First of all, number 4 is kind of the end of the first arc. Okay. And then number 5 through 10 are really like the rest of the story.
Second and third act.
Yeah, so it kind of, and so I kind of was like, oh, maybe I break it up that way. And then also I just wanted to get a collected edition out because I thought it would be a great way to easy access point for people who may not want to get, individual comic books, but also I'm going to do them in the digest size. Like the
like the 6x9,
like the DC compact comics.
Yeah, that's a nice size.
I'm really convinced that that's like the future for a lot of this stuff. Looking at how well DC's done with those, and also I just think it's more approachable for a younger generation that's used to manga. They look at American comic size and it's like, ugh, that's the size of a book my grandpa read, like it's just hard for them for some reason. But you get that digest size, it feels more like a manga, and I think it's an easier access point. So
cheaper too. It's cheaper.
A little cheaper too. Also, that doesn't hurt. So all those things combined, I'm like, I think it's just like it can't hurt to do it and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And Johnny, have you seen those small compact DC books? They're really nice.
Yeah. I mean, Marvel put out a few too, where they kind of like did like truncated versions of stories that are like black and white and small.
Yeah, it's all like classic stuff, like
right,
solid storylines.
Yeah. So I think that's I think that'll help a lot, and so we're going to run that in this next Kickstarter. So
after 4, it's going to be one for the collected edition.
No, I'm going to run it with
this one. Okay, that's a smart idea.
That's cool.
We'll be able to get individual books or get the collected edition if they want to. If they haven't gotten involved yet, they can get that. I'm gonna order them either way, so I figure I might as well put them on the Kickstarter and see if I can get a few sold.
Yeah, why not? And are you gonna offer 1, 2, and 3 as well on the campaign?
Yeah, there'll be catch-up tiers, where you can get those. I mean, those are
so smart to always do that,
Yeah, I mean, I'll add. There'll be add-ons, and then there'll be some tiers where you can get all the issues, and then there's all sorts of stuff. I think I'm going to do some, there you go, like that. I think I'm going to do some a couple. I think they're a little bigger than that even, Johnny. Is that the Runaways?
That's Runaways. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I have that same thing right here. It's so funny. That same one right here.
Twinsies.
I'm getting ready to send these to my niece, actually. She was here over the summer, and I got her first comic books at a store here, and I'm going to send her some more stuff. I've read these a million times, and I'm like, this will be a good.
I always like to point to Runaways as a good introductory point to comics for like like teen or like younger kid, like trying to push them into because that's
I haven't read it in a while, but I did read the original. Was it Brian K. Vaughan run of it? That was awesome. Great. I love that.
Yeah, it's great. That's what this is. But I think the 6x9 is a little bigger than this. I think this is like I don't know. I'd have to see.
There's something to that size. Like you're right. I think the kids are.
That's like 19 inches, right? That's guy math.
Something like that.
My cock and stuff. Yeah. No, there's that. That size though, I think is great for younger.
There's something to it. I mean, like I think even the DC compacts are a little cheaper than manga now, though. Some of it, I think,
they're very affordable. Yeah,
it's in color, which you don't usually see with the manga. So it's kind of cool. They're trying to compete, I guess, and I think
they've done great.
Working. It's working for DC. DC's killing Marvel right now.
Oh, I mean, honestly, like I'm a Marvel guy, but fucking good. Marvel deserves it with the bullshit they're doing right now.
Oh, Marvel's terrible right now.
They're just awful. So.
Couple of good books, but that's it. Like they are kind of done.
They're somehow they're in spite of themselves. They're tripping into a couple good books, but overall it's trash.
Yep. Yeah, it's funny. Like the shop I work at, I used to dread the Marvel orders because the boxes that come, there was so many boxes from Marvel, and now it's flipped. DC is like crazy now, and Marvel it's tiny. So just shows you where the readership's going.
Well, I mean, just the Absolute books alone. I mean, you'd have to any retailer. They can't keep them in stock, They're just blowing through them.
It always sways like a pendulum.
I just sold the entire run of Absolute Batman for like $500.
Did you? Oh man, I still have. I've got it all. I mean, I've got multiple copies of #1, a couple different covers of the first print, but I've got an extra copy of the first print A cover, and I'm like, do I want to keep this and like slab it, or do I sell it now at its, because I think it's at its peak right now.
Yeah, I think it is. I think the tipping point is now.
So I'm like, if I sell it now and then, it's going to sit in a box for a couple years. So I'm like, in a couple years, do I just buy a slab for cheaper than I got here? I don't know. So
that's where I was at. And then I was like, I'm going to take the chance and sell it, because I guess the only other way that it would have another plateau is if a movie or a cartoon or something came out for it,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they'd have to do specifically like an absolute Batman movie or something, but I think it's just at its peak right now. I don't think it's going to get higher than it is. And then
and what a shocker, man. I thought that was going to be good, and it is good, but it's the level it's selling. It's like not even it's like boggles my mind. Like I've never seen anything like it.
Well, it just shows what a book can do, even a mainstream book, and with a character as fucked out as Batman.
Yeah.
And I say that with all love and reverence, but been around and done around the block. When you just when executives and just get out of the way and let creators cook.
Yeah.
Like if you look at on paper, like in a pitch, within the description, in the look of the absolute Batman, it sounds insane.
It does.
And then you read it and you're like, oh, this is so fucking good. I will say, I think Kelly Thompson's Absolute Wonder Woman is better. I think it's the best book in the industry right now by heads and
that one. Okay, I'll have to read that, because I've been putting it off because I'm not really a big Wonder Woman fan.
I'm not either.
Oh, and okay. All right.
I've never read Wonder Woman consistently in my life. I mean, I've picked up issues here and there, like random stuff, or like I've read some of the old George Perez stuff. I read a little bit of Gail Simone's run that was supposed to be good, but whatever. So it's not like I love the character. I just picked it up because, to pick up the number one, and I was instantly captivated. It's been the best book in the industry since it launched, in my opinion.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Absolute Batman number 2, but it's the best in my opinion.
Yeah. Superman's not bad, but it's not as good as the others,
I'm on the fence about dropping it every time I read an issue. I haven't yet, which has to say something, but I think Jason Aaron's his strengths are not the books he's been doing for a long time. I don't think things like Thor and the Avengers and
he's better on weirder characters, like
his Ghost Rider,
better on like Ghost Rider,
Wolverine, his Punisher, Southern Bastards. That grittier, darker kind of macabre solo characters, even street level, that stuff. When he has all this room and Odyssey and godlike stuff to play with, it gets too murky.
Yeah, and I think with the problem with the Absolute Superman, he stayed so long with the Ra's al Ghul storyline.
Yeah.
It just started to get old.
You kind of felt like nothing was happening in the issues.
Yeah.
I like the concept. I like the take on Superman. I like the power set and the way the powers are kind of, with the suit and stuff. It's interesting. It just feels like it almost feels like nothing's happened yet. Like we're 18 issues in and like nothing has really happened. It's just kind of angsty Superman, runs, kind of fights the people, then runs again. Then
that's I'm kind of with you. I'm on that verge of like
kind of like that movie that came out.
Movie
that came out. It's kind of like it's very angsty.
Oh yeah. But anything else you want to say about the campaign, though, Deece? I know we could talk comics all freaking night.
I mean, for anyone listening, please follow the pre-launch page is up now for Kill Stand number 4. You can find it on our Instagram, inferno.earth. Give us a follow there too. Follow the pre-launch page. We're trying to get as many people as we can. Obviously, the more followers we have, the bigger push we have when the book launches to get we get higher in the algorithm, all that crap. You got to play to the algorithm gods. But no, we're gonna do some cool some different rewards this time. We've got some cool variant covers, some virgin variants. We always do a limited to 25 edition cover. I'm going to do I'm also actually first time we're going to do some blank sketch covers. So I'm going to offer I'm going to do some sketches on a couple covers. I'm going to do a very limited amount of those due to my time. But
Can you actually draw these?
Yeah, I do all the covers for my book.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, awesome. Dude, you're like a jack of all trades, man. I love it.
So I'm going to do, I want to say 3 to 5 will be the max amount of sketch covers I'll do. So because I want to be realistic of when I could actually accomplish that for people. And then the collected edition. So
awesome. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So, you can go back if you want to. You can go back and buy number 1 through 3 right now. They're on our website, inferno.earth, digital or physical copies. We ship anywhere. We've got combined shipping on everything, all sorts of cool covers and stuff. So
awesome. Harry, you look like you were going to ask a question.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So because Kill Stand deals with like suicidal type things, do you have to do like a little blurb? If you're like a PSA, like if you're struggling with this, do you have to add that somewhere in your book, or do you do that anyway? Or
very special Kill Stand.
Yeah. No. Simple answer is no. I don't. Most people who read the book I shouldn't say most. A lot of people who read the book are very aware of why I wrote it and how it's based on, there was kind of one of the impetuses of it was when my best friend took his own life. I talk about that real openly in a lot of interviews. And I don't know if I mentioned that in the back of number 1. I don't know. But I've talked when I talk to people about the book, and people ask me what it's about, and then they ask me why. I'm honest with them and tell them. Haven't done any, PSA. If you're struggling with stuff, maybe I should. But I think also the book is like a walking, talking advertisement for
PSA.
that. PSA,
yeah, right. Yeah.
That's, it's funny because when I'm at conventions and people be like, what's this about? And I'll be like, well, it's about a guy who wants to end his own life. So he decides to do it through vigilantism. I can always tell what kind of, how the next thing I'm going to say is, because someone will be holding it and I'll say that and they'll go, oh, and kind of put it closer, or they'll go, oh, and kind of put it farther away. And I know, and that's like people are like, don't you think that's it? So they're like, oh, so it's kind of dark. And I always am like, no, it's not. I go, it's positive because we're talking about, it's darkest before the dawn. You have to, there is no darkness without, or light without the darkness. You have to, you have to be able to master that. And it's feeling those feelings to understand why, and getting to the point of finding your purpose again. So I think it's perspective and perception, and I think people will automatically assume that those things are like bad and dark, don't really have the intestinal fortitude to tackle those type of inner topics, and they probably just watch Friends on repeat and
stick to Disney films. I mean, I've run into those people before.
Play roadblocks and don't talk about their future. Don't just not people who want to
pretend there's no world outside their house.
They just don't really want to get into like the ugly stuff that is life.
But like also it's like it's like it's part of the story. Like it's what I mean. It's like the challenge of it, and and you're dealing with something. You're talking about a subject, but also trying to be entertaining with it.
Right. I mean, it's part of life. I mean, it's a thing that
exactly.
Life is ugly. Life is raw. Life is, whether we like it or not, like, I'll give you an example. In my stand-up comedy, I've got a joke I've done for a long time. I don't do it a lot anymore, but I used to do it all the time. I called it my Karen killer joke, because I don't know, 20% of the time, a middle-aged white woman would get up and yell at me or leave the show or something like that. But it was a joke about Catholics. I grew up Catholic, and I won't do the whole bit, but basically it ends with me saying, like, grew up Catholic, went to church, blah, 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 wasn't my thing. I never believed, but I do still remember to this day, the very first time I ever went to church, as soon as that priest was finished, I pulled up my pants and I'm like, this is not for me, So like and people would get mad at me about that joke. And I'm like, why are you getting mad at me? I'm like, the only reason you know what I mean by that insinuation is because there's rampant sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. Not because I fucked any kids. Like, I want to
right.
It's because the Catholic Church has a large pedophilia problem, and but you don't want to face it. And when somebody mentions it, you get mad at that person for mentioning this horrible thing. You know who else is pissed about it? Probably all the kids that got diddled.
Right. The ones that should be mad, right?
And so, and that's just how dumb and like incongruent people's thought process is, because they can't face anything ugly. They just want to get mad at the messenger instead of being like, oh, what's this really saying? What's this really say about like our culture and our, the way we view it.
I love that style of comedy too, because it reminds me of that comedian Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh yeah.
Like he always starts off the joke, and you think you know where it's going, but the end's like a little twist at the end. It's like nowhere we thought you'd end up. I love that.
It's a little misdirection.
I don't think just because like a project deals with a sensitive subject matter means that you automatically have to put that stamp on it, right? You don't have to, have your own Comics Code Authority stamp to say, hey, there's some important subject matter here or whatever, I think, does Fight Club have a disclaimer on mental health? You know what I mean? So to that point, like, I think because you're trying to say something
trigger
creative.
warning in some ways, I don't think you need to. I mean, I think I've read comics about suicide and they haven't had to put, you know what I mean? Like PSAs in the back, like.
I mean, people get
that.
Pretty much everyone who reads the book has at least gotten the pitch on it. So they're aware of the subject matter and what's how deep into that story of why it's like that, so it's like, but I mean, I've had a lot of people who read the book and reached back out to me and been like, hey, thanks. This was actually really helped. I feel like I understand what Sam's going through, and, like basically it's helped them through their hard time, which is great.
I like that.
That's what I wanted. I wanted people to be able to take, look at it like that and say, oh, like I get what he's going through. And like understand that I'm saying like, hey, he's doing all this crazy shit, like, and it's not going well. And he's trying to find his purpose. Like, he's stuck in this thinking he wants to die, but really he's trying to find his purpose. And people really can like, read that subtext and take the good out of it,
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. Everybody check it out. I put the link to the pre-launch page in the chat room there. Also, if you're tuning in tomorrow, it'll be in the description of the video, so check it out. He's on the 4th issue. He plans on having it done by the time the Kickstarter is done, so you'll be getting it ASAP. And if you're just finding out about this series for the first time, 1 through 4 will be on there, plus the collected edition if you prefer graphic novels. So lot to grab there, And are you besides the sketches?
If you have been diddled,
sorry.
Let's give out the number. Sorry, no, I was going to say if you have been diddled, you can give out the number now to call if you.
Oh yeah, just call 1-800 Pope for me.
Yeah,
the diddler.
You give out the number, like how many times were you diddled?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What were you wearing? What were you wearing? My altar boy outfit.
Right.
What else would I be wearing?
Awesome. And then Deece, where else can people find you? Like, where are you active on social media?
Yeah, best place to find me is on Instagram mostly. You can follow me at deece.comedy on Instagram for my personal account. I post comic book stuff there and, all my comedy stuff. Or inferno.earth. That is our Instagram page for the comic books. So I would post all stuff there, post something daily. And it's not all stuff about, I try to let people know too, it's not all stuff about Kill Stan, Inferno Comics. I just post stuff about comic books too, because I want people to know who come there that like, I'm a fan first, I still read comics. I talk about comics. I talk about some of my favorite comics I've read in the past. Every Monday, I do my pick of the week of what like the comic that's coming out that week that I'm looking forward to the most. And, so it's just like, I want people to come there for comic book stuff, not just my book. I don't want to just be selling, like, it's not just buy this book every
right. You want to offer some other value there as well. That's perfect. Yeah, I love that. And then where can people get your podcast? Is it on Apple?
Any platform? It's called The Social Hour. Any platform, it's on all. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, it's there. Or you can go to deececomedy.com is my website. You can get it there also, or Spotify is major place. Obviously, everyone has that. That's a good place. And yeah.
Awesome. Guys, any other questions for Deece before we wrap this up?
Nothing in terms of the comment. I can ask you other bizarre, obscure questions, but that can wait till the end. Or if Johnny has any.
Well,
is there anybody? Oh, go ahead.
Go on,
Sorry,
Harry.
Johnny.
No, go on.
Well, I was wondering is there anybody in the comic business that you would like or think is like happening right now, or?
Kelly Thompson, and she was on the show a while back also, the Social Hour, super nice. And she's writing the best book in comic, but she's killing it right now in ways I didn't realize. The emotional weight of this character that she's put together is phenomenal. And then
that's cool.
What's his name? Hayden Sherman, the artist, has really put a really interesting design. What I really found fascinating about the character design also is they've made her like, sometimes they draw Wonder Woman like too beautiful. They like just too perfect features. She's like Greek, right? So she kind of has like, sorry, Greek people listening, but kind of like a bigger nose, and kind of like the way she's drawn is like perfectly imperfect, if that makes sense. And it's like, it's interesting because you're like, oh, you made some really distinct choices to like of how she looks and like her, the what we're going to call beautiful and what we're going to call like, and it's just really interesting. They did a really good job putting this together. I think another person I'd shout out is Corinne Howell, who was recently a guest on the show also. She wrote and created Lilith through Vault Comics. That's her latest thing. She's done a ton of stuff before that. But she is, her comic book Lilith is great. It's so much fun. She's super nice. She's really talented, really humble, and great creator that I admire a lot.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah. The rest of them can suck my dick, all you
yeah, right. Exactly.
Your shitty comic books together. Yeah, screw you, Mark Wade. Whatever. The rest of them are fine. Everyone else is fine too. I just those two specifically stand out as I think really, really
they're cooking right now.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
And Johnny, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Deece, thanks again for taking time to come on the show.
Yeah,
just
thanks for
share your project, share your insights, your comedy. You're always funny. We love having you on. And definitely please come back again for the future.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, number 5, as soon as it hits, because coming up, I'll let you know.
Right on, man.
Cool. And then one last question I have. Are you, you said you hit a lot of conventions. Anything on the East Coast that we might see you at?
I did not do. Here's part of the problem is, which I'm sure you guys have, traveled for conventions. Flying with a short box of books is like
it's a nightmare.
It's just it's logistically very challenging. I keep tossing around the idea of trying to do HeroCon. I've heard great things. You know, my buddy did it last year. He said it was great. My thing is that like I did a lot of them in like Texas, Oklahoma, California, Washington, places I was going anyway, also stuff. But like it's kind of like I gotta do the math on like, does it pencil out to pay to get there, hotel, you know, a weekend?
Yeah, a lot of the times it doesn't.
And they not even just will I make back, you know, like break even on a weekend, which I don't mind. I just mean logistically is like, can I do that same weekend somewhere closer that maybe isn't as prestigious, but I can, the end result is the same amount of books sold.
Yeah.
You know,
I get that because I don't travel all that much. Johnny travels more than I do, but I approach it a lot like you, where it's like, am I going to walk away with how much in debt this time and that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, it's like, I don't know, selling whatever, you know, 60 books or whatever is in North Carolina isn't any better than selling 60 books in Ardmore, Oklahoma for me.
Yeah.
Like, what's, you know, it's like at this point, it's
same
like
money. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's just units, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's kind of the hard. It's not that I don't want to, it's just kind of doing the math on what makes the most sense, you know?
Gotcha.
9 times out of 10, my banner, I strap it to my backpack when I go through TSA.
Oh, yeah.
And they always pull me aside. They think it's like a rifle or some God knows what. You know what I mean?
Well, that's our crack squad of federal employees.
Well, I leave from Logan, and you know we let the 9/11 terrorists through. So
yeah,
right. Well, yeah, there you go. All right. Well, Deece,
on that note,
what's that? Yeah. Great to see you, man, and good luck with the campaign. I mean, you already got 33 people watching it, so that's probably, you know, a great start for this, you know.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get like
100 or so.
Yeah, I would love to get closer to 100 by the time we launch. So we'll see. It's been you know,
looks like we got you about 3 tonight, so that's good.
All right. Hey, thanks.
There you go.
Let's do it again tomorrow. Get another 3.
All right.
Nice.
Run it back to back.
All right, Deece. Have a good night, man. And good to see you again.
Right on. Thanks, guys.
Nice seeing you again.
What's going on, man?
Later. Awesome, guys.
He's
so that
too
was
funny.
good.
I love having him on.
Yeah, great guest, man. Always entertaining, you know.
Always.
And he knows his shit about comics. You know, you gotta hand it to him for that, you know.
Absolutely. And even his podcast, he has a lot of great guests on. Like,
have you listened to one at all, Johnny?
I've watched his comedy, like his stand-up specials, like the one he sent us previously, but never listened to the podcast. I'd like to actually start.
Yeah, I'll have to, you know, I'm always looking for new stuff to watch and listen to. So I'll have to give that one a shot at some point, especially the comic ones. I have to see, you know.
Yeah,
I'm actually making my way through the Dean Haspel Vito one little
I'm
by
sure
little.
that's wildly entertaining.
That's very good. Like I'm like 6 months behind their current episode, but I try to listen to 1 or 2 a week. So eventually I'll catch up. But yeah, they really get into discussing, you know, indie comics, you know, like I like it. So if you're looking for another indie comic podcast, and Dean like always shares like his insight about the industry and, you know, things like that. And right now, the ones I'm listening to now, they're doing almost like a bracket thing where they're comparing, like they take like Art Adams and put him against like Brian Boland and like which one they prefer.
It's March Madness. That's why probably. Is that why they're doing it?
Well, this one's like 6 months old, I think, or like when I was listening to it, I think it's from like last summer. So
Yeah,
it
so
was
it's a
after.
Lobstead, yeah.
Yeah, but they're doing like that bracket thing, which I think is interesting because they talk about why they choose one artist over another, and they really think about it, and-
Right. They put actual thought into that.
yeah, so
process.
it's a very good show. It's good. I like it. I don't know if they're watching or listening.
This one isn't very indie, but over the weekend I started watching that. I'm a Trekkie too, I guess. I started watching the Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner podcast. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, is it good? Is it good?
It's called Dropping Names. It's good because it's like when you watch it, you have absolutely no idea what the hell they're talking about because it's like they're best friends. They've known each other for 45 plus years, and they have on their first guest was LeVar Burton, so they're talking about all these like places they've been, people they know in the business, behind the scene things, restaurants they liked, this writer, that writer. And like you understand the words they're saying, but you don't know exactly which writer that was or which restaurant that is. You have no frame of reference, And they had on like who they have on? They had the guy from Family Guy. I can't think of his name right now. Seth MacFarlane. And like all the people they know in the business, this literally the podcast is literally called Dropping Names, and half these names you never heard of before.
Of them, if I'm not mistaken, weren't both of them on the Orville in small parts?
Oh, right, yeah. So Frakes directed some of the Orville, stuff.
Okay, because
so
the Orville was a better Star Trek than Star Trek.
It was
right, yeah. As I found out on the podcast.
What's that?
Well, MacFarlane actually stole some of the Next Generation's writers and people from that show. So that's why it's very similar.
Star
and
Trek show. He used a lot of the actors too, didn't he? He used like a lot of the actors from Star Trek.
Maybe behind the scenes, but not on the.
I thought. Well, he definitely.
I always thought that
Frakes was on it. I think Spiner was on it.
I don't remember.
There was a bunch.
I know the role. Yeah. I don't remember the.
I have to go back and watch it. It's been quite a few years, but
it's been a while for me, and I don't even think I saw the full thing. Like I don't think I saw the.
Oh, you never saw the full run?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was a great show. It was better than the Paramount.
Great show.
I can't stand the Paramount Star Trek that's out now. I can't watch.
Oh yeah,
it.
the Starfleet Academy. I can't either.
No, not even that one.
I
can't even watch Discovery. I can't watch.
I like Strange New Worlds. I thought it was good.
Strange New Worlds.
That one's good. Like
I liked it.
The only one I watched that I liked was
the musical. The musical was kind of rough, but
the only one I could watch that I liked was Picard season 3,
and that was great.
Oh, I love
that. Was good. That was like legit fan service.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm actually
they said
they to watch Star Trek again. Like Amy just bought like the entire Deep Space Nine DVD set. We've never seen Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And like it's one of those ones that I've always wanted to watch but just never did. So we're thinking about
that's the one we always soon.
Nice.
That's the one we always hear about. Like every guest we've had on that we ask them about Star Trek, like
they all love Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Have you seen it, Harry? Or?
No, I mean I've seen episodes here and there because I know Worf did a crossover and
a bunch of them.
What's the guy's name? The Cole Meany. What's his name from not Cole Meany? The guy. What's the guy's name?
Yeah, he was like the engineer guy.
Right. He made it over there too. He crossed. Yeah, that's what.
No, he was on the show. I think he was a regular on that show. I think he was actually a cast member.
Well, he started off on Next Generation.
On Next Generation, yeah.
And then he went over to Deep Space DS9.
But to me, that was like the last good era of Star Trek, and people hated that stuff back then. It was kind of funny,
Yeah.
I think what caused Deep Space Nine to be so prolific in that way is that it was actively competing with Babylon 5.
Yes.
And Babylon 5 was J. Michael Straczynski, and that was just top tier sci-fi writing.
Yeah.
So to that point,
I've seen
that was
Babylon 5. Babylon 5 was great. Like It's a little rough the first season,
Oh.
but if you can get past that, it's great.
Right. And to that point, it's like
Did you
when
hear-
you have a strong competition, you have to be better, or you
Yeah.
have to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what pushed that show into being what it was.
Yeah, right. So that's why, yeah, exactly. And then Deep Space Nine was a lot, wasn't it the guy that did the Battlestar Galactica reboot too?
Oh, that's right. That's right. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
that
so-
flavor there too.
I did like that.
Yeah,
I watched. I did like that. I like that one.
Yeah, that's
That,
really good.
I didn't
So
think I would
that's
like
that's
it.
another
but
reason why I
he-
think Deep Space Nine is going to be great to watch.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Easily.
Have you seen it all, Johnny? Have you seen all of Deep Space?
No,
Nine?
so I remember watching a little bit when it was on because it was like one of the I believe it was like the UPN like flagship show when UPN
Yeah, it was, I
launched.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched a little bit of it then, and then you know, when you like you mentioned, I travel a lot. When you travel a lot, you don't necessarily have like access to everything you want to watch.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're just watching whatever's in syndication, and you know, wouldn't you know it, sometimes you catch a good stretch of like Deep Space Nine episodes,
Yeah.
or Voyager episodes,
And then you lose like track of it again. And
yeah, exactly. But then you also forget how good it was.
yeah, that's why
You know
I
what I
want to
mean?
go back. Like I feel
Yeah,
like stuff
exactly.
made back then was just better, you know, like better than the stuff we get now.
In some ways
Well,
it was
the
better, in
writing,
some
too.
ways it was worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you get used to a certain
Special-
style of storytelling. Like, because especially then they did the long seasons, like 22 episodes, and not every one of those was great, you know?
Right. And even the standard of storytelling and production was a little bit lower, where, you know,
Yeah.
I think we all collectively accepted a little bit less from our productions.
Yeah.
So now when we look at it in hindsight, it looks very rudimentary. And we're like, why does this look like a cheap stage play
Yeah.
when it should look like a cinema or TV or whatever? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll let you know when I started, like how I feel about it, because I've never seen an episode. So
Right.
There are a lot on Pluto and all those apps too.
well,
like-
that's the thing. I tried to watch the pilot on Pluto, and the quality is so freaking bad.
terrible.
I couldn't
terrible,
deal with
yeah.
it. Like it was like
Right.
480p, like that bad a quality.
And that's why those shows are free.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they're giving it to you in the lowest quality
The
possible.
lowest
And they're
form.
also meant for mobile viewing. So like to see
It's
it on
like
your cell
watching it
phone.
on a VHS tape that's been taped over like 20 times,
Right.
and it's that quality. You know?
Speaking of that, I was just talking to Keith before the show. They found 2 lost Doctor Who episodes that
Did they really?
get where some guy had a private collection. You know what they do. So back in the day in the 60s when the show first came out, the BBC had a bad, they had no budget, so to save money, they basically retaped over the previous show's episode, so they would record over their own tapes. So they would lose episodes, and there's many that are missing still today,
Wow.
like several episodes that are lost to history, and private collectors have some of these hiding in their collection, and they're just waiting to be found. And some people, maybe even back in the day when they would show the episodes, somebody in like South Africa would record it up, on their VCR, and that's the only copy that exists, so they gotta go find these lost episodes and like restore them, and like I
That's
actually
wild.
I pretty much own every like Doctor Who DVD that's come out, and the parts that are missing, because in some cases they have the audio of the episode, but they don't have the visual, the video of it. So
Because it was
they've
taped
animated
over.
it. Yeah, it's taped over. So they have the half live action, half animation in the story. It's so bizarre.
That's
Like,
wild,
and
dude.
they had no budget back
think-
then. Yeah, it's crazy.
To think that you would just tape over it, like because it's never going to air again or what? It's wild.
Well, they never thought it was going to become
be
a
reruns,
thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's like the biggest. Well, the writing is horrible now, but actually, I was talking to somebody. This is why I'm bringing it up, because somebody this today knows that I'm a fan. He's like, "Oh, Harry, did you hear about they found the 2 new episodes, 2 lost?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I heard about that," and I told him the same thing I just told you. But back in the day, they had no idea it was going to be a huge hit, and like even
Yeah, right.
when it became a big show, the original actor William Hartnell, the guy that looked like George Washington with the white hair.
Yes.
He actually had like dementia during that show. He was forgetting his lines. He was like flubbing them on live, and they only had like a certain amount of time to record in the studio back then, like maybe 4 to 5 hours. And once that studio time was up, the lights went off. So you had to record everything within the entire episode in that one time period. And so so every time somebody flubbed their lines or missed a line or screwed up a word, they left it in there. And it's so sad to see if you go back into the old episodes and watch some of William Hartnell's episodes, you see him towards the end, like he couldn't figure out what the word was. He was like stuttering almost and trying to get the word out, and they left it all in there, you know. And then towards the end, when he got really sick, they knew they had to replace him because the show was a hit, you know. So that's when they wrote in the fact that he's an alien, that when he comes close to death, you know, his body can the molecules in his body can align themselves and have a new body, you know. That was all written because of his like health condition. Yeah, so that's how it happened.
Wild. That was such a great idea to like change actors, though. I always thought that was a cool idea.
It's the longest running sci-fi show in history. I think it's like I think it's in the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest running sci-fi show. So
it's been on for so long
since since 1963, the day JFK was assassinated.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Before we go. Shay Martin was asking us if Next Generation is the best place to start with Star Trek. I would say so, right?
Yes, it's my favorite.
Next Generation,
my personal favorite.
I would say start with the original series because there's so much foundation in the original series that it informs
it's almost
some
like
things you'll find. Yeah.
It's almost two different kind of shows. Like Shatner's the original series was more action. You know, I think Shatner punched first and asked questions later. Picard is more of a cerebral captain. You know, and there's so many. Like each episode is like a movie almost. Like it's like amazing how awesome the writing was. Like I can name you episodes like Inner Light and like the Darmok. You know, amazing episodes that I don't know. I told my friend Terry, who's a weatherman, Channel 4. He and I grew up together. He was never into like geeky shows. And I'm like, Terry, you got to watch Star Trek. If anything, watch Darmok. He's like, okay, Harry, whatever, you know. And then they kept asking. I was like, did you watch it? Like, no. And one day he was bored. He and his wife was bored, and they're like coming across. There's like nothing on TV, and they came across an episode. It's like, and he calls me immediately. It's like almost in tears. Like, Harry, I saw that episode. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, I know. You gotta. And he watched. He became a huge fan. Like, he's like, oh, Harry, that's amazing. You know.
Oh,
so.
Cool.
But yeah, I would start with. Next Generation is a good, show to start with.
Good starting point. Said he knows some of the history. Watched like the movies and stuff. So I would say that would be a good starting point. I've seen most of those.
Yeah. Did you know that Denise Crosby, the short blonde-haired girl that was
Tasha Yar
killed by Tasha Yar by the tar monster? Do you know that she is the great granddaughter of Bing Crosby?
That I did know. Yes, that is a fun fact.
Crazy. Yeah,
she's also in the first Pet Cemetery movie too.
Yo, that's right, she is.
And in the what do you call Walking Dead, the cannibal. What do you call?
Yeah,
Terminus.
She was in Terminus and Walking Dead. That's right.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
But anyways, we're gonna wrap it up. We're going really late tonight. Right. I kind of want to reel us back in. We usually don't go this late, but thanks everybody for. Oh wait, Johnny, did you want to shout out, or you want to save that for the next episode? The anthology.
Oh yeah. Well, first I want to shout out the fact that I'm going to be at Dragon's Realm Comic-Con this weekend, Danbury, Connecticut. Saturday, Sunday, don't miss out. Danbury Sports Dome. It's going to be a really big show, first time show, and I'll have all sorts of fun stuff out there. So come check me out this weekend if you're in the Danbury, Connecticut area. 2, is we keep teasing that we have this big announcement coming. Well, guess what? We're going to keep teasing that we have a big announcement coming.
Yeah, we haven't had time to really put a thing together yet. So.
Yeah, we want to make sure that when we put this out there that it's ready. And it's ready to be announced, and it's ready to have you guys be partake in it. That's the key thing too. This is going to be a very interactive project. So keep your eyes peeled, keep watching us, and we will have something soon where we announce it, and we'll have something where you guys can partake in it.
Okay. That's a good tease. Awesome. All right. Well, that's Harry, unless you have anything to push this week.
Nope, nothing to push. Just
okay.
plugs.
Yeah, nice. I don't either. I'm just busy. There's a ton of different things going on, but nothing really that talk about. But
by the next time we have a show, I'll be doing Chicago that weekend.
Oh shoot! Is that when 2 weeks?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
A fortnight.
Are you going to be on the show that night or no? You might.
So the show will be on. Yes. Oh, maybe. I might be traveling back from Chicago, so I don't know. We'll see.
Oh yeah, if the TSA is the nightmare that it still is, and
that's the problem.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hopefully not, but we'll see. But anyways, we'll talk about that as that gets closer.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Join us every other Monday night for our live streams. And most importantly, read some comics, everybody. Have a great night.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
And what would you say, Harry?
Happy St. Patty's Day. Don't.
There you go. Yeah, think about that. Awesome.
Drink responsibly.
All right, everybody. Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody. Have a great week and read some comics, everybody. Good night.
Have a good night.